Hey everyone, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. We're starting in the back room today. I mentioned yesterday that I will be substitute teaching at my school 3 days in the afternoon this week. So I don't have as much time as I normally do. So we're getting right to it because today we do not want to waste any time looking at these beautiful items that my mom sent. Elizabeth Knapp, if you've been following me for a while, you know that my mom also creates junk journals and I sell them for her. So I have a box here. These are all available for sale in my shop. Free shipping to the United States, exact shipping worldwide. You can find the link in the description box below. So let's get started. The first journal is called Far East. Oh, that is so cute. Vintage lace, painted herons from a vintage fan, also small tatted doily, rice paper stationery, origami notebook, vintage handmade linen, the swans on the front cover, over a handmade green doily that's been crocheted, lotus flower dangle. So, wow, a lot of stuff. Looks like maybe a wallpaper cover, single signature. I love lotuses. They're one of my favorite flowers. I think roses and then lotus. Those would be my two. Look at that sweet dangle. And then here's a vintage embroidery. Look at those little swans. So cute. All right. Let's look inside. If you're familiar with my mom's work, you know that she adds so many sweet little touches. It's so pretty. She coffee dyes her own paper, and she adds so many beautiful things. She also loves the Oriental theme for journals, and I just think that is so sweet. She always likes finding things that go together. It's not the first Oriental journal that she's done. I like how there's swans on the ribbon, and they kind of match the swans on the front. Get a little... She adds so many details. So pretty. You have little flip ups. This is perfect for when you want to maybe write a little note or tuck a little picture behind. You have stamping. Look at the butterfly. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Looks like a little vintage jewelry charm. You have little ribbon belly bands. I'll show you can tuck something right in there in the middle, signature. That would be perfect for photographs, something like that. Oh, look at that, so beautiful. Did she say what that was? It's a fabric. The path to a friend's house is never long. I love the size on this too. Got a little booklet there with some origami paper. She's done a little bit of hand stitching on that tag. Isn't that cute? Perfect little touch. Really, oh, look at that lace there as well. And here's a bookmark in the back. Isn't that pretty? I love the pinks. I don't always see a lot of pinks. I see more like bright reds and stuff, but the pinks and the mauve colors throughout this, so gorgeous. So this one is Far East. All right, let's see. This one is called A Girl's Best Friend. It looks like it is a Reader's Digest altered book cover. Move some of this out of the way. Okay. 3 signatures, 84 pages, vintage book cover, vintage lace, jewelry, pearls, etc. Look at how pretty that is. I don't know that I've seen this cover before. I'm sure a lot of you have, but that one's beautiful. Look at the spine. 3 signatures. Look at the edgings. Look at the pearls. The tassel. All right. So it's called A Girl's Best Friend. See if I can flip through this. Oh, so pretty. This box is getting in my way. You can probably hear it. I'm going to set it down on the floor so I stop knocking it with my arm. Don't have a lot of room on my filming desk. I have some stuff set up to ship items on either side of me. So I have this like one little square that I'm working in. pretty. Look at that. You got like a lace pocket. That's a beautiful illustration. Butterfly. There's another one. They're embossed. Be kind. Little, I think she gave me some of this. It's like vintage stationery. I love it. These embossed butterflies, some little tags. Little pocket. So pretty. Oh, look at that one. Isn't that gorgeous? More tags. Look at that. The way she comes up with her edgings. Okay, there's a little key charm hanging off of that edge. Little journal cards tucked in. Another gorgeous image. Little tucks. So pretty. So that one is A Girl's Best Friend. I'll tie that one afterwards. Grab the next thing. Sweethearts and Roses. $64 oh wow, look at that cover. 64 pages, vintage book cover, vintage elaborate embroidery on the front cover. Tassel includes vintage pearl bracelet. Companion rose garden notebook included on reverse side. Satin closure reinforced with decorative stitching. Wow. Okay. When she says vintage, she means vintage. She shops a lot of thrift stores and estate sales. Look at how it's satin, and look at how she stitched it so it wouldn't fray anymore. Isn't that beautiful? And she wasn't kidding about elaborate embroidery. Look at that. And then the tassel has a vintage bracelet in the tassel. What a great idea to actually hang a bracelet. I don't know that I would have thought of that. And that might be an earring. That is one of the prettiest tassels I've ever seen. That is gorgeous. Okay, got to stop looking at the tassel and open up the book. Look at how pretty. Little cupcakes. So it's kind of a Valentine's Day theme. And of course, we had Valentine's Day this week. But it is really perfect at any time since we all love flowers and roses and just this kind of sweetheart theme. It is beautiful. I love the pinks and the blues together. There's some bright colors. Gorgeous. I love that stamp. Isn't that beautiful? More roses. So pretty. Gorgeous. Using that stamp over and over is just a beautiful way to tie it together. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Ugh. Well, somebody's going to adore this. Okay, so then on the back here, she included, look at that, the sweetest little notebook. And you can tuck that inside the journal as well, if you wish. But this closure just wraps around it to hold it in. So that one is Sweetheart and Roses. Looks like we have some journal cards. Gingham Garden. 7 journal cards from a vintage crewel work pillow. So, of course, embroidery. Let me get into it and we'll go from there. So it's 7 journal cards. And so she had a pillowcase that she cut apart. And how beautiful to make them journal cards. Now, yes, they're journal cards and you can tuck them into a journal, but I honestly feel like they would be so beautiful on a journal cover because they're just, I mean, they're vintage. You could just make it the highlight of a journal if you wanted to. That's so pretty. So there's the set of 7. Okay. Next, Cherished Upcycled Bridge Score Pad Holder. 16 sheets to make 32 pages. Look at that. So this was a bridge score pad holder, and she put a few 10 little bridge papers, so you can use those as well. I enjoy tucking these into pockets and tuck spots. But the holder, it was a vintage one, and obviously very beautiful. And she upcycled it, added a little lace pocket with a journal card. It says Cherished. It has the little jeweled butterfly. And let me see. Okay, just a little wraparound closure here at the bottom. It opens, and it's a notebook. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And then look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Oh. And I think it would also be a beautiful gift for somebody. Wow. So that's Cherished. Set that over here. Then we have, ooh, this is a big one. Day by Day. Let me pull it out. Wow. All right, set this aside. Day by Day, 128 pages, an 8 by 10 cover, wildflower nature theme, waterfall postcard dated 1948, vintage stationery, pocket for a pen, and vintage lace and trim. I love how she puts the highlights on here. That's really neat. So it says Day by Day. Look at the fabric on the spine, and you got this little label. You could put a year. That's probably what I would do. Look at the birds. All right, let's look inside. 128 pages. Oh, it's not just a pocket for a pen. There is a pocket with a pen, and it has butterflies on it. Isn't that neat? Then this is her handwriting. Day by day, dear Lord, of thee 3 things I pray, to see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day. How sweet is that? Here, this must be the vintage waterfall postcard from 1948. Looking Glass Falls from North Carolina. Wow, how pretty. Forget Me Not. Wouldn't this just be sweet to work in for a year? Look at the rabbit. Got a little paper waterfall here. Little bouquet of flowers. I'm hoping I'm in frame. Okay. Look at that. Little, these are playing cards that she turned into pockets. Always thankful. Little hanky. Is that a flip? It is, but look, she put a little piece of ribbon there to hold it down. So when you do have your secret journaling or whatever you put there, that holds it down so it's not flipping up as you move it around. Look at how sweet that is. Just beautiful. I love that washi tape. With loving thoughts. Gorgeous. I love the illustrations that she chose. Look at the stitching, adding in the map page. Gorgeous colors, of course. More forget-me-nots, birds. There's a lot of pages in here for you to work with and work on. That is sweet. Okay, Day by Day. Nice big one. All right. We have another altered bridge score paper holder. Bridge score pad holder. That's what it's called. And this one is called Together. You can see it's very similar to the other one. Look at that. You got your collage and then your sweet little image, journal card, and then your little notepad. Look at how pretty that is. Gorgeous. What a beautiful idea. All right, so that one is, oops, dropped our little card there in the front. All right, what else do we have? Oh, some playing cards. You can always use those. So we have coral, red, orange. Oh, so pretty. So these are like coral colors and reds and oranges. Super pretty. That's a gorgeous set. And then there's raspberry purple. Look at that. These are, I'm sure most of these are vintage. Oh, pretty. And then orange and multicolored. So cute. Little crazy quilt ones. And then golden brown. Butterflies, flowers, fans, and seashells. You get quite a nice little assortment there. Then there's deep blues. Ooh, look at those flowers. Fans and bicycles. And then marine blue. Oh, those are pretty. Love those. There's some peacocks again. And then green. The ladybugs are so cute. Some ivy. Wow, lots of selections. I'm sure you're going to scarf these up. And then pink, blue. This is Romeo and Juliet. Cleopatra. And then there's beautiful hat boxes and bouquets. Wonderful addition to the shop. All right, what do we have now? This is the last pile. I'm not going to open all of these up. I'm going to just talk about them and then I'll photograph them later, but you can see. Vintage bridge score pad, and then 10 tally cards, 6 playing cards, and there's a vintage doily on the back. So you can see there's a score pad. These are the tally cards. These are the playing cards. And then this is the vintage doily that you get. Here's another set. Tally cards, playing cards, and the doily. Those are very similar. Let's see if they might all be similar enough. I'll just, yeah, all 3 of these will be quantity 3 because they're pretty much the same. They're very, very, very similar. And then coffee dyed stationery and note paper, 20 sheets. You can see the gorgeous selection. And of course, I'll take it out of the plastic to photograph it. So you can go to the shop if you want to see a picture of it. Ooh. Persian, 6 pieces, 3 tags, 2 journal cards in a pocket. You can see through the plastic here, so I'm not going to take it out right now. I don't want to lose anything. Look at how gorgeous. So Persian theme. It's gorgeous. I mean, amazing. I would also think bohemian if you wanted to add it to a boho journal, right? It says beauty, create, and rest. 30 game cards, flash cards, collector cards. Many are vintage. See the flash cards, music, playing cards, collector cards. Look at the music, little saving coin cards, ABC animal cards, and time-telling cards. What a wonderful collection. And there's a couple sets of those, 2 sets of those. And then we have dyed paper, 10 sheets, 3 purple. Oh, that's gorgeous. 3 coffee dyed, grapes print notebook paper, and 4 coffee dyed plain. So here's the grapes one. There's coffee dyed and there's purple. And then this one is the Old World Floral Vintage Ledger and coffee dye printed paper. So here's the vintage ledger. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the browns on the green. Coffee dyed book pages that are shabby chic in theme, so you can see the roses and all of that. Of course, I'll take it out to take the pictures. And then 10 sheets of purple dyed paper. These are all purples. And then 10 sheets of just coffee dyed paper. So what a wonderful addition to our shop. We are truly blessed. So thank you, Mom, for putting this huge box together for us of all the stuff that you have been working on. I know you always inspire us and we appreciate you. So I hope if you did enjoy this video, you'll give it a thumbs up, leave any comments you might have below, subscribe, and check back for another video coming soon.